Hey friends, thank you so much for dropping by. Now with .NET 8 coming up, we have a data grid included, built in within .NET 8 and Blazor. So this is what we want to have a look at today. The QuickGrid it is. And just so you know, my birthday was recently and I got a Spider-Man cake from my beautiful wife with this little guy here. So maybe focus, Spider-Man might be able to help us today. Let's see. So now let's start with the tutorial. Here I am with the preview edition of Visual Studio. To be more exact, it is version 17.6.0 preview 7.0. This is what you need if you, for now, want to use the preview edition of .NET 8. So that's the right one. Looks a bit differently, right? So we just open a new project, a Blazor WebAssembly app it shall be, and we call this blazorgrid.net 8 maybe. I will also push this to GitHub, but please keep watching. Would be very nice of you if you just still keep watching and not go directly to the video description. But if you want, of course, just grab the code and you're done. .NET 8 preview, right? Not .NET 5, 6, 7. It is .NET 8 now. And I also want to use ASP.NET Core hosted because with that we get the weather forecasts by default from our web API. And this is what I want to use actually in this little QuickGrid example. Typical stuff, I think you know the drill. Here are our pages. And this is what I want to use actually. Please go away. And here you see the weather forecasts, right? From our controller down here. Great stuff. And for now we have a table, but I want to use QuickGrid now. Now the thing is that I don't know why, maybe you know more than I do, but still I had to add the NuGet package. I was just looking for it and there it is, right? Microsoft ASP.NET Core Components QuickGrid, but you see it here, version 8.0.0 preview 3 it is. So what we can do is we can actually grab this and add the NuGet package with the CLI. Or since I want to click now, right click the client project and manage NuGet packages. And then we go to browse. And in here, we enter QuickGrid. And if you don't see this entry here, let me just try to, okay. QuickGrid, not the entity framework adapter, just QuickGrid. Make sure to select this little checkbox here. I don't know what that is. Sorry about that. I'm sure it's great stuff. But I want to use Microsoft ASP.NET Core Components QuickGrid, 60K downloads. Not that much, but I think we will get way more with the release of .NET 8. So that's the one. Also, again, pre-release 8, just install this thing and then we are free to use this. And now let me close that. Here we are. All right. The first thing is we need an iQueryable as our or for our list of items that we can use, and we can actually do this a bit dirty. So we use QuickGrid, the component, and let me just with control period add the using directive here. So you see it here, Microsoft ASP.NET Core Components QuickGrid it is. We open that and here now it doesn't like that because we have no items, right? So what we now have to do is we set them. In our case, these are, again, the forecasts as queryable. All right, and that's it. This is how it's done. When we run this, well, let's have a quick look, right? We just start this. And then I think we should definitely see our table. There it is, fetch data. But that's not the QuickGrid, right? So we have to define the columns we want to see. All right, so it doesn't work completely out of the box. There are other data grids that will just grab everything from the objects that it receives and then just displays all the columns, all the properties, but not with QuickGrid. Here you have to define every column. I think this is not a big drawback really, because in the end you want to do that manually anyways. I think, because lots of times there are properties you don't want to display in a grid. But anyways, this is just my opinion here. So what we want to do is we add a so-called property column and define the property. And the first thing is the date. So now F for forecast, we say, please show me the date. And we can already format this, but let's just continue like that and make the adjustments then a little later. So the date it is, and we also got, you see it here, the temperature, not bad. Celsius, Fahrenheit, and the summary. All right, so now here we say this is the temperature C, this is the temperature F, and here now the beautiful summary. We save that. Don't know why I have to do this, but I have to restart the application. Sometimes Visual Studio is giving me a hard time, and here you see that now this is our data grid. Well, about the looks, debatable, right? But you can fix everything really. When we have a look at the page of the QuickGrid, there it is actually, you see the samples, and here now down there you see styling, and you see you can just, this is awesome, right? So now here you can define, of course, your CSS stuff when you want to use Tailwind CSS. I think with that, I definitely will create another video about Tailwind. So if you want to see one, please give me a like and write it down in the comments. Then maybe I will prioritize Tailwind a bit more. But anyways, you can just change the complete looks here, the styling, and you also see what you can actually do with QuickGrid, like paging, filtering, sorting, and so on. And we will have a quick look at some of these features as well in this video here. So this first, the data, right? What I don't like, of course, is also the title of the column. So maybe we can fix that. Well, this is pretty simple. We can, well, data is actually all right, but here now we can say the title is temp and then C, maybe a capital C, and same thing, just copy and pasting here for Fahrenheit. Save this. Did it change? Nope. See that? Although I checked that, hot reload on file save doesn't really work. I don't know why. Maybe you know it. Please tell me why in the comments. Now it is rebuilding, and here we have the other titles. Okay, so this is already nice. Then I promised to change the format of the date. So let's have a look here. We can also do that with format. And then, for instance, we want to see the actual name of the day. So that would look like that. All right, we save this, reset our application, and there we are. This is great. Another thing I really love is sortable. And with that, I know I'm rushing through this here, but this just demonstrates that it's really, really easy to do that. And in just a couple of minutes, you have a fully functional data grid included into .NET 8, and this is really nice. So as you can see now, we can actually, here, not here, because I haven't added this, don't know why, but I didn't. And with that, now we can sort this. Isn't that nice? Now, there are three more things I wanted to show you. These are just the default property columns, but of course you can do more. For instance, if you want to add a filter in a certain column, then what you can do is we can just open this little component here, close it, and then in here now we say column options, and here now we add a little input like that. And when we now have a look, then you see this little menu here, and we could now do something in here. Maybe this is something for another video. Again, please write it down in the comments if you want to see that. A filter, for instance, needs a bit more code, but I think you get the idea here that you can do lots and lots of stuff, anything in essence, with the data that is provided here. You can add a filter, you can add min-max values, you can, I don't know, show some additional information about the data, whatever you want to see. And the next thing, if you, for instance, want to use a button to open a modal dialog, to edit an entry, for that you don't need the column options, you need a template column. And this is done like that. So here we just add a completely new column with this template column. And in here now, we could, for instance, do something like that, pretty simple stuff, like just add another span with some more information. So maybe you wanna add some nested information. You have a project, row, for instance, this project then has some project details that is nested to that object. I think you get the idea. Then you can access this here because the data grid by default wouldn't show it here. Maybe, of course, you would just add the nested object here as well. But maybe, I don't know, for some reason you just want to change that. Then we say, for instance, it's really, and then context, because with context, this is the actual object we get in this row. So you see no for each or something like that necessary, no virtualized component necessary here. This is how it's done with QuickGrid. We have our context, and then here we can access the summary, and we just assume there's a summary and it's not null. That's why I added the exclamation mark here. And with to lower, we say, it's really so-and-so today. We restart the application, and with that, we can edit or do something with every single entry here. And now if we sort this, then it's mild, balmy, warm, freezing, and sweltering today, right? And another thing, again, if you need more options like adding a button and do something then with the complete context, you can do this as well, of course. Really like that, because I get asked this a lot. How do you use a button to do something with a row or with an entry in a data grid? So here we use Bootstrap for our little styling, button primary, and now we use the onClick event to call a function, and we will add the function in a sec. So we add a little lambda expression because we need an argument here. Function show it to me, why not? And here I just want to display something from the weather forecast in the console. So that's the function. Yes, we will add it in a sec. And maybe we can just add a little icon. That should be enough. So I and then class OI cloud. Funny, right? The cloud, that this works now with the weather stuff, but I think it is actually intended, the use for this stuff is, there's another intention there behind the cloud icon. Anyways, so this is our button, and now the function down here, let's say public void show, almost show it to me. We get a weather forecast entry, and here now we just say console right line, and now here we say it will be forecast summary to lower. Something like that, I hope. So let's restart the app again, and we need the console now. All right, so this is really big. And here now we see our beautiful cloud buttons, and we can say it will be sweltering. It will be, again, sweltering, balmy. It will be hot and bracing. Isn't that nice? So this already works. And again, if you now want to open a dialog and transfer the data or provide the data of this entry here in this dialog, you can do that as well. Pretty much the same way. And now the last thing I want to show you in this quick demonstration to spread the word really for the QuickGrid is pagination. All right. How would you do that? Well, first we need more weather forecasts. So we go to the weather forecast controller, and instead of just generating 5 entries, we actually want to get 50. It's not rebuilding. Jesus. And here now, okay, this looks better. Real quick, thank you so much for watching my tutorial so far. But if you want to support me even further for free, totally, please hit the like button and maybe even subscribe to my channel. It would help a lot. It really does make a difference. So thank you very much for considering. And now let's continue with the tutorial. And what we can do is we need actually a pagination state. All right. So this comes also from the QuickGrid. So pagination state, there you have it. See it here, Microsoft ASP.NET Core Components QuickGrid pagination state. Just call this pagination. This is a new pagination state. And by default, we can say items per page is 10. And of course, I got this from their website. So Please have a look there if you want to read this as a tutorial. So items per page is 10. And then up here, we say pagination is pagination. All right. Well, question is this enough? Well, let's see. Almost. We have 10 entries, but where are the buttons to, well, run through the pages and switch them, right? So we have to add one more thing. And this is another component called Paginator. I love that name. And the state here now is almost at pagination. All right, and now restart the app. There it is, and we see our paginator. 50 items are there, and we can run through them. Of course, again, we can also sort everything, for instance, regarding the temperature. And now we get all the entries. Isn't that nice? So this is a really quick demonstration of the QuickGrid. Quick demonstration of the QuickGrid. Hope you liked it and learned something. If so, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It does make a difference. Maybe you also want to check out my newsletter. Thank you very much for that. And thank you for watching. And I see you next time. Take care.